Alright. God, I feel like a bag of dicks. Hey, I'm looking for that. Ooh. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. By the analytics, there's 86% of you that are gentlemen and 14% of you that are ladies. I am still feeling a little bit under the weather. I had a little bit of a sinus into my chest thing. We have a lot of things to look at that I bought over the weekend. I bought some pretty complete things all the way down to just little trinkety stuff. So we will go probably this way. I'll move some trucks and we'll go back to those last. So here we go. I did set up as a vendor. Here's a random picture that somebody took of me being a vendor, just rambling to people. I had a blast. We only ran like half of one trail, but the difference between this time and even in Beat the Creek in May and then last Rocktober especially was I met more people that knew who I was than I expected by far. My channel is definitely growing and I appreciate all of you for it, but it is just a real trippy feeling when people just randomly walk up to you and are like, hey, I really enjoy your content, yada yada yada, I'm a big fan. I just appreciate it. That's what I wanted to say. It is so weird to me I don't even gotten this far basically. So anywho, now that that's over, let's get to the stuff. So anyway, my buddy is friends with a guy that was a vendor there, and he had some stuff. These are the rod ends I use to make my own links. They don't have the balls, which is kind of fine, whatever. I'm sure I can find some more rod ends that are for sale, but these are the Jado rod ends. This is what I use. I also have a video way back that I can probably link in the description of this video. So I bought rod ends, and then I bought from him these Kimbrough 56 tooth. These will fit on a Phoenix with the, well, any kind of VFD with the slipper eliminator. So I got a couple of those because they were like $6, something like that. Building a lot of those things, so while I have them in front of my face without paying shipping, where did I grab them? So that is that. Next! Alright, so then I had a guy come up to me and he said, hey, I've got a bunch of tires and stuff for sale that I'd like to just get rid of. And I was like, alright, well, what do you have? And he brought me over some stuff, and it was actually more than this. I hustled pretty hard whenever we were there. I sold my little MST, my CMX MST, I think is what it's called. I sold that, and I sold a bunch of stuff. I sold some wheels. I sold a set of OMFs. I sold a set of methods that I got with another truck that I'll talk about here in a minute. And this guy said, hey, I've got all these tires and wheels. I know some of them are fake. I know they're, whatever. Will you just give me something for them? I said, sure. So I bought basically these, and I bought another set of wheels and tires that are the same, but they were already together. So these are just RC 4-wheel drive 155s, and then I have the mud thrashers from the TF2 kit. And I had, like I said, I had two sets of these. Somebody already bought the set that was together. I bought a set of Landies that were rusted on an older RC 4-wheel drive. I should have taken a picture, but I did not have them long. Basically, that guy rolled up, said, hey, you want to buy these? I said, yeah. And within probably an hour and a half later, maybe, if it took that long, this guy bought them. So I didn't have a whole lot of time. So I sold those. I think that was the only other thing I sold. And then I also got these Dick CPEC Mud Countries. I think these are fake. They don't have the RC 4-wheel drive. I think these are the Amazon knockoffs. My buddy Doug has used them. They didn't work bad. I just don't really know if I have a use for them. I don't really run a whole lot of tires that small, and if I do, they're usually J Concept stuff. And then I also got these from him. These are RC 4-wheel drive Challengers. Never even seen these. They're really soft, especially for an RC 4-wheel drive tire. They seem nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with them exactly, but they seem okay. They may work well. They've got a really all-terrain style tread pattern, and they're 4.3, I think is what it said. Yeah, 4.3 by 1.3, and then they're 1.9. So they're kind of in that just above 4.19 below 4.75, like that weird middle range to where sometimes you can get a truck that needs that. I mean, that's a scale. If you think that almost everything now is 9th scale, it's like a what, 38 or something like that. It's a pretty big tire for an all-terrain. So I'm not real sure what I'd do with those, but they were cheap, and old boy made me a deal that was pretty good. I couldn't really deny that. So I picked up all of those. Next, last random thing I got was I met a lady that sells customized Yetis and cups and stuff like that. And her and her husband seem to have some RC stuff in general. She hydro-dips bodies, things like that. It's like the Irish lady, I think is what it's called. Anyway, she had a couple bodies for sale. I told her I didn't need them, but she basically just started going, how about this? I was like, eh. She's like, well, how about less? And I was like, eh. And she was like, how about less? I was like, how about even less? Because I don't want them. And you're just, at this point, just, asking me to take them. She was like, deal. So I bought an XJ body. This is an Axial XJ. I'm not an XJ fan whatsoever. And it also doesn't have the grill or anything like that. But you never really know what's going to happen. I could make an XJ buggy or some craziness, or hell, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I have no idea. But I got that. So just kind of, there we go. And then I also got a Proline Wrangler for a 10.2. This is just a 4-door Rubicon for 12.3. Basically just a Rubicon body. Once again, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I own it now, so I don't know. It's a JK. So now I have a clear JK body as well. That's pretty cool. I got them both for less than what that JK body was brand new. Next, then we have this. I bought this from Mike Kirby, guy that owns K&K. Got it from him. I didn't need this. However, I looked at it and saw what it comes with. Kind of got the money, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good deal. I have the other shock, but it's not over here. I think it's still in my box. So basically, this came with no transmission, but the body still has all the lights, everything like that. The chassis is pretty nice, actually. It's got a little bit of run time, but not a whole lot. I did score this aluminum panhard mount that I'm going to put on my JL, and then I'll swap this one with the stock one. Doug actually wants this Gladiator, so I told him that I would sell it to him for pretty cheap with the links and everything. The one thing that I did notice that I'm going to have to also swap is this came with a VFD, a straight VFD skid. So it had a VFD of some sort in it, either one from a Pro or an Ultra or just on itself, whatever. But it had the links for a straight axle kit. So I got the straight axles out from under it, because this is really what I bought it for. These are gross. Anyway, so this is what I bought it for. It's pretty much this. And then I also got a Savox 1257, which is a very, very weak servo. If they had this on the front of that, I hope they were using something like Class 0 tires on it, because this thing has like 130 ounce inches or something like that. Super weak. And then it had a Sidewinder 4 that I did try to sell, but nobody really seemed interested. I will be selling some of this stuff on Facebook, or if you want to hit me up on Facebook or in my Facebook group, I will be selling a lot more stuff in there as well, posting that. So, that is that. Let's see, so I'm going to keep these, keep this VFD, that goes to Doug, and then I'll sell these two. Probably keep these shocks, even though I have like 5 pairs of them that aren't on any trucks or anything. So, that is that. Next, this one here had an interesting Kentucky math, I don't even know what was going on. So, I said, what would you like for that Pro? This guy was taking it all apart, and he said, well, I'm pulling the electronics from it right now. I said, what do you want for it? He told me. I said, okay. So we'll call that original price. It had a body on it. It had lights on it. And I said, well, I don't really want that body anyway. I really only really value that body at like $100, because it was a half cab. It was decent, but it had lights on it, and he had way more value in his mind on that thing than I really wanted. So I said, how about without that? And he said, well, without electronics, that's what I want. And I said, well, what do you want with the electronics? And he said, without the body, I'll go down $160. So, okay. So, damn, that's way more than I was going to pay for that body by far. So good. So then I said, what do you want for the speed control? And he said, 120. And I said, it's a little nasty. It was a lot dirtier than I cleaned it up a little bit. It doesn't have a fan. I'm good. He goes, well, how about 120 with the motor? Cool. So now I got 120 with the motor and everything like that. So now we're down $40, right? So we have the original price minus 160 plus 120. Now we're down negative 40 from original price. I'm looking around and I said, what do you want for these incision drive shafts? He said 50 a pair. Okay. So now we're at plus 10. Okay. Now, what do you want for this Holmes Hobbies servo that's in it? It's an SHV 500 V3. Very nice servo. He said 90. So I said, okay. I'm looking it over. And I said, so for all that, let's do that. And he goes, all right. So now, by the math that we've just went out, we're at 100 over the original price. I said, so for all that? He goes, yep, original price. He goes, let me do the math real fast. Yeah, and then threw the original price back at me. And I was like, okay. I said, you're good with that? And he goes, yep. I don't know if that was actual, just he realized that he was, I'm not sure what he did. I gave him money, and I'm not losing any sleep over it. I don't know what was going on. But basically, I got a whole freaking Pro for pretty cheap, plus an extra set of drive shafts, and it's almost ready to run. It has DravTechs. It's an actual Pro. It has the aluminum motor mount. It has the aluminum standoffs. It should have the better gears inside. I took this off when I was there with him. He had the motor plate off, or the motor cover off, and the transmission kind of like halfway off. It does have the slipper eliminator. I believe it has a bigger gear on it. I can't really tell, but I'm super happy about this thing. So basically I have a Mamba X, basically my whole setup with, this is pretty much how I would have built a Pro, with DravTechs in red, which is whatever, and I'm pretty excited. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I got it for a score, so I can't really complain. So that is that. Next! So I made a deal with Mr. Kirby again. I bought a bunch of stuff off of him. I had bought these wheels. These are 101 V1s. I had bought these off of him. Not bought them, I hadn't paid for them, but basically I'll take them at Rocktober before he even left. So these were basically earmarked mine, and I told him I'd take them. So I got there and was looking for the wheels, and I was looking around seeing what else he had. Now, these wheels had these foams on them, but they had a set of Voodoo KLRs. I sold the Voodoos and swapped on these V1s, and this truck actually had BFG KM3s with a set of bronze 105 methods on it. Nothing crazy special. I went ahead and separated them. I cleaned them. This thing is dirty. It doesn't look like it's been run very many times. There's hardly any scratches on the bottom of it. It's actually pretty nice. It just, I don't know, this was really dirty. And so I took KM3s off, was trying to sell those. I sold the 105s by themselves, got a lot of my money back, almost pretty much paid for these 105, or these 101 V1s just out of selling the 105s, and hustled a little bit of more stuff and everything like that. So I put these on here, had brass hubs, everything like that. The cool thing is, this is not a 10.3. If you actually pull this body here, it is a 10.3 body, but this is actually a Phoenix. It has different body mounts on it. It has 3D printed inner fenders, and then it has, I think Jordan said it was Club 5. These are Club 5 racing sliders. So it has a G11 shift servo and a G11 OD, so for dig and everything like that. It has a Mamba X, once again with no fan. I don't know what this thing is with removing the fans, whatever. And then it has a Three Brothers G14 steering servo. super nice. I didn't realize that it also comes with a receiver. It's a SR6100AT, which I'm pretty sure is a plane receiver, right? I know that everything I've messed with so far works. I didn't plug a battery into it. When Kirby told me it was good to go, I assume it's good to go. He and I have done a lot of business, so if it's not, we'll discuss that the next time we meet. So I wasn't real worried about it. I had him throw in a foam block before I took all of these trucks and gave him a bunch of money, and he acted like it killed him, but it didn't. So that is pretty much it. There's not a whole lot to talk about this. It's a Phoenix. It's just like the other 7 or 8 Phoenixes I have. This one's insanely heavy though. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of weight on the wheels, but this feels very heavy. So I'm not real sure. Jordan's trying to con me out of this rear bumper. It's I don't know, something. I'm not sure what it is. He told me the SSD maybe. So I kind of like this. I may end up getting rid of my JLU, my Axial one. I'm not real sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're not, go ahead and join my Facebook group. Check me out on Instagram, all that stuff. Bullman Built RC. You can find me everywhere except TikTok because I don't like China taking my information. So that's all. I will see you later. Bye.